service of CNC Worldwide.
Your daily CNC News podcast is a service of CNC News and made possible by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 500 members with business solutions since 1984. The Rochester City Council takes up legislation this week that would have the city loan an additional $2 million to the Midtown Tower developers. That would raise the amount of the city's loan to Midtown Tower LLC to $5 million at 1% interest. A letter from Mayor Tom Richards to City Council said updated cost estimates based on costs of the work already done show renovating the tower will take more than $59 million instead of the $54.5 million originally estimated. Much of this is because modern heating and cooling for the tower is costing more than expected. Midtown LLC is headed by developers Robert Morgan and Lawrence Glazer. They took over the Midtown Tower project after Paytech Communications was bought off and no longer needed a headquarters building. 9 names were added today to the New York State Fallen Firefighters Memorial. At the head of that list are the names of Michael Ciparini and Tomasz Kashovka of the West Webster Fire Department, both killed in the Christmas Eve ambush. This ceremony is held during Fire Prevention Month, every year since 1998. It honors more than 2,800 firefighters who have died in the line of duty in New York State since 1811. The University of Rochester Medical Center said it is now able to better read the genetic fingerprints of breast cancer cells, letting oncologists tailor the treatment for the best results on each specific patient. One of the biggest quiet developments in cancer treatment in recent years has been finding out that each person's cancer differs genetically, and that's why treatments that produce remission in some people don't help others. The RMC is now able to test 500 patients a year for what's called HER2 gene amplification in breast cancer. HER2, that's human epidermal growth factor receptor number 2 gene. If a woman's genome has many more copies of HER2 than average, her tumors are usually more aggressive and require specialized treatment. Having a local testing lab greatly cuts down the time it takes to find this out and tailor the patient's therapy appropriately. 2 men have been found guilty in last year's shooting of a 19-year-old who was waiting in line to buy a pair of sneakers. Kayshawn Mackenzie Smith and Williams Wilkins were convicted of second-degree murder by a Monroe County court jury. Both men were on trial for shooting Montre Bradley during a robbery attempt outside the Street Game shoe store on Chili Avenue in Gates. Bradley and the others were waiting for the store to open so they could buy limited edition Nike sneakers. And police believe robbers targeted those young men because they knew they'd all be carrying large amounts of cash. Bradley resisted and he was shot. He died at Strong Memorial Hospital. The 2 suspects were caught a few days later. Both men face 130 years to life in prison. A Batavia assemblyman wants the federal government to allow access to outdoor veterans memorials in Washington despite the partial government shutdown. Republican Stephen Hawley has led an annual Patriot trip to Washington over the last 6 years, bringing area veterans to the sites and monuments dedicated to their service. Hawley said it's nuts for the National Park Service to actually have to instruct its officers to keep people away from the memorial sites. He said that indicates government gone astray. Links to these and other stories will be found to the left of the player window on your CNC News pages. Down at the bottom of a CNC page, you'll find links you can use to post stories and other information directly to us. The next news podcast is As It Happens. Updates are as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.